All right, I call the planning board meeting to order on June 11th, 2026 at 6:07 p.m. Ready for pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nice job, man. We'll do a roll call. Christine Maynard here. Mark's here. Roxanne Tuskey here.
John Quinn's here.
And so everybody's has updated their oath of office, so we're all good to go with that.
And it has to be done after every time meeting. According to the town clerk, yeah. You guys can fight it out. I'll sign whenever they want.
Years.
Well,
So you were elected
I'll have a conversation. We'll clarify that and have the correct information at the next meeting.
I'll have to sign anyway. We can sign for the year.
Review of the meeting minutes for May 21st, 2026. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look.
Kate made a suggestion to put expiration terms on there. For the roll call. For where the person saying she wants to.
That's actually a good idea.
What's that next one?
I said I would get those expiration dates for,
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Land use inquiries. We have one land use inquiry, and that is 58 Off Clare Road. We got it from Nicole Adario, and you're Stephen. Okay, so Stephen's here today. Do you guys have a copy of the? Okay. So they are. You haven't purchased it yet.
No, we're just trying, that's the whole point, we being able to figure out what's possible there.
Okay.
So, can I ask a question? Since that's trailer, do we need mobile home?
So,
Because everybody's interpretation is different.
Well-
If I hear trailer, I think something I'm told, but I'm
but
not
so then you.
No, wait a minute, can we just, I see a trailer, something like.
I have a picture of it.
My husband
on this property now?
It's been there forever.
a mobile home.
No, I think it was true. It's on the property now.
It's the
Yeah,
picture.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
got a hitch on it.
Or you also have pictures that are disconnected.
yeah, it's,
The other property.
But
But it's a mobile home from back in the days.
It was built in
probably
19,
before I was born.
Right, but
It
I'm
was
just
ba-
saying,
it was built in 1958. It's
and those mobile
1958.
homes had trailer hitches on them.
Right.
Well, I mean, even up in the 90s and early 2000s, because my husband had one from like 91, and you had, and I think it depends on what state you're in, you had the option to keep the hitch, or the, I think they call it the tongue.
Yeah.
You can keep it on there if you'd like, but I think in the state of New Hampshire, because Jan and I looked at it on this, I believe like in the state of New Hampshire now, like
You have to remove the hitch, you have to remove
you have to remove everything. You cannot, anything that can make it mobile, you have to remove it and put it on the
It's
foundation.
now a manufactured home,
Right. All
no
right, so,
mobile wall.
so the understanding is, so that I just understand, if you want to remove that mobile home and just leave it as is,
I'm here to see what's possible, so I'm trying to figure
So
out.
I asked Nicole, and Nicole's your sister,
System, yeah.
so I asked her for clarification because she kept using the trailer, and I didn't have like any like pictures at the time or nothing. So I was like, wait a minute, if you're not coming, I want to get clarification.
Yep.
And it's like camper trailer, and there's no septic system on the lot. So
There is a well there currently, and there was electricity from the pole to the trailer at home.
So what you're asking is, or what the inquiry form has, is basically if they could remove what you have and put basically an updated version of what's there.
Yeah, well, the same size, so
Or-
just, yeah,
Can I,
what's
can
possible.
I ask for a point of order here? What is this discussion? Is this a non-binding discussion?
Non-binding discussion, there's
We
no.
need to have
like-
that reflected in the minutes.
Yes, and I said that to her as well, like, anything that we discuss is all discussion, we're not approving,
Yeah.
disapproving, it's discussion. clarification.
So is the property able to have a septic?
That I don't know. That's why I'm here to ask. I don't know that area
Let's
well.
begin with where you're located. You're located on Sunrise Lake, within 250 feet of the reference line, which is legally in the shoreline protection zone, which will require state permitting. And they will be involved in the siting of whatever you do there will be made, mostly determined by state law.
Because it's waterfront.
It's waterfront, it's in the protected shoreline. It's 250 feet within the reference line of the lake.
I don't even think the lot may, I don't think the lot's that long either. So it's gonna, I'm just trying to find out what's possible there
Yeah.
before we make an offer on land.
So what you need to do is just review all of our zoning ordinance and look at what the setbacks are for everything. But because you're waterfront, you also have to,
That's not how I would proceed. I would have to hire somebody, a septic designer or a wetland specialist, and have them give you some accurate information.
well, that as well, but reviewing what all the ordinances, the zoning ordinances and the building ordinances and everything else, and then I would hire somebody. I would never judge if I was looking at property, I would not judge like my interpretation of anything. I would hire.
So my question is can the trailer come out, a cement pad get put in, and a trailer be put back on?
So
It'll,
there's the man right there. Something is
That's what I'm
demolished.
saying.
If you take something down in our town, can you, within one, is there a specified period, let me ask my question before you answer it. Is there a specified period of time where you have to rebuild on that lot? If you take something down, is it within a year?
Our book, the books that we have in Middleton state anything like that. I know in some towns, it's like if you had something that you were grandfathered in, within 24 months you reconstruct it in the same means. But in this case, you're not reconstructing the same means.
but don't say grandfather because
It doesn't have a foundation right now. It's just a cinder block propped up underneath the trailer. So to put a concrete, to do what you were doing currently is not possible. It's
Okay.
not feasible to recreate what is there.
So I think you need to look at it.
But I guess the question, first and foremost, the question is, you can demolish what's there.
You can get rid, you won't even have to demolish it, it's just concrete blocks, you can drive away.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's gonna come.
You're not driving that thing off that lot, trust me. It's gonna come apart in pieces. Yeah.
It kind of looks like someone put like maybe a chimney or something in the middle too, because it's like a big concrete block.
Right, but my point is you can demolish it in there, and I'm not aware, but I'm not speaking this to be 100% that says, as Carl was saying, is that you have so much time to replace it within time.
That's just only in the town. Now, what the state requires in that protected shoreline zone, for when you demolish, you might lose, unless you have a plan in place with the state, you might lose your footprint.
So like over on our side, the person that bought the house, bought John's house and then basically tore it down and rebuilt.
But he did so with a state permit,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and there was no years, it wasn't abandoned, it was not,
No, there was no lapse in time, because he immediately tore it down and rebuilt it. But, I mean, I kind of look at it because it has no septic system, it's on cinder blocks, like Carl said. I look at it as like, if you require a lot with what we now would call a camper, and now you just need to take ultimately it's kind of like you're buying a lot. So
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure
You're
out.
just trying to figure out what you can do on the land.
Like, look,
And we-
you tell me
and we
tonight I can just pour a cement pad and I can pull a trailer in and out?
No.
we can't say
no, you cannot, because you're gonna have to have septic approval, this is your,
Well, no, it's a trailer would have its own septic and it would just hook up to water.
no, because
No,
that's
because
camping,
that's
and you can't have that.
That's camping.
That's a mobile home, like a
That's a-
camper.
That's a
Yeah,
camper.
but that's what I'm asking.
No.
It's
Yeah.
No,
No.
we don't allow campers.
No.
Campers not allowed.
What
So that
about it?
makes it a little clearer.
A manufactured home would be allowed if the state says that you can meet the setbacks from the water, and you can get a section of the property in a curb, and you can meet the setbacks from the road or get a variance from the
Yeah, so without extensive, that's why I'm there, right?
Yeah.
Without extensive back work, it's not a very good lot in that means.
So would you say like he should contact like DES or?
That's a good starting, shoreline protection, yeah.
Department of Environmental Services.
I'm sorry.
That's the
Department of
Department of
Environment, yeah,
I can assure you there's been a lot of interest.
in that problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
Many calls.
asking if you can build one, that's not our,
They get the same answer from me, call an engineer.
it's not, but I mean.
But that's what I'm saying, so like, I don't wanna put, I don't wanna make the assumption that you can just take that out, back a new trailer back in, and call it a day, and then all of a sudden, you know.
No, because it all, like Kate says, it all has to, because this is on the water, it all has to go through DES, you know.
Yeah.
Pulling any weed out of there has to go through
The moment,
Yeah.
it's not even the structure itself that does it, it's the moment that you disturb that soil, you change the way the water runs off. And once that it gets changed, that's where DS gets involved. So the moment anything goes into that soil, you dig down, now you need to.
But to answer the first question, I think that was in here, is can the structure that's there now be demolished? Yes, that can happen.
Yeah.
But as far as
But
what can go forward, that is not,
If he
Just
demolishes,
demolishing would still require a permit.
and if he,
Yeah, so it would be a permit, which would be normal, but like,
Well,
so
it
can I,
would require a permit by notification from the state as well, because they want to make sure that you have silt fence going. You have like
Oh, to make sure.
a saw for any debris that comes off of the demolition.
so if I was buying it, I would be buying it as a piece of land that's not 100% developable. If I'm hearing you guys correctly, potentially,
we have no idea, we.
and I could just use it as an entryway to bring a boat in and out. Or dock a boat.
Well, I mean, I think even if you were to go and like, if you were gonna get a launch boat, I think you'd even have to get shoreline.
yeah, you have to.
We got a permit for a dock.
Well, not, I wouldn't launch it from there, I'd launch it from wherever everybody else launches their boat.
But I mean, but I think to have a dog, I don't necessarily.
It's a permit.
I
It's
think
al- it's already
State
docked there.
permit.
there is not, well, you'll have to double check now because the state has changed the rules about docks. And they've changed the rules about permitting for docks and then the length of a dock. And
If it's already been there, it's not grandfathered in.
I don't.
I would, so look I would just go to DES because you're dealing with a body of water in the state of New Hampshire.
Yep.
I would go to the state and get all of your facts from them because they are not somebody that you want to ask for forgiveness for permission
Yep.
because their fines.
They would be the one, they would be the driving factor.
It's a pretty good sized
Like,
wall. It's just like really, it doesn't sound like it's very
I
wide.
don't
It's
think
like
it
80
is.
feet of waterfront.
Oh.
It's a half acre and 80 feet of waterfront, just go like this or something.
It's right here.
It's a half an acre, but I'm telling you.
That's a pretty good sized lot, I thought.
When you drive there, it's not,
2,300 square foot house.
Do you want to,
unless I'm missing some of it.
do you want to see that?
I
Is
have
that?
a full house, garage, backyard, side yard.
And
Half an
also,
acre, right?
I could fit everything on a half acre.
has it been surveyed?
Well, we'll have
So
to,
it's 42.1?
yes, 42-1.
I don't know, if it's 50 or.
42.1?
Yeah.
So the trailer like right here.
Yes, so
Oh, there's
then,
another picture,
So there's a whole
With-
land on this side.
so there's a house here, the trailer literally is right here, so this doesn't look as big as this piece, I think. So you're telling me this is part of this, these two things?
it's only two because
For that area, I think.
It could be over here, it's just the other version of the property.
That's what I'm asking, is this all one piece? Is this?
Here's just that area.
and you can see where it's.
Oh, the camper's right here. So that, all that.
So I didn't know that that's part of it, because of.
So you could take. Oh, yeah, no, exactly.
There's another guy that's like, got
You
stuff
have to,
going on.
I don't know how to look.
If you go like this,
This is variances or not.
Yeah. You could
I know
put
there's
this-
sounds like, I know there's a lot of people in my area.
The whole point of the question is
they
like,
have to have
what would be needed
focus
to
on lot size.
what's
They have to have
possible,
a bit of
what's not
breathing,
possible.
Right.
But you're telling me that nothing's gonna be able to get approved through you guys?
without the state.
Without the state involved, so that's that engineers, run on, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't do anything about it.
I'm okay with it, I just wanna know.
Okay. So like kind of rolling back, I think, did we answer everything? It basically sounds like because you're waterfront, you need to go to the state. and-
Yeah, there's nothing cut and dry that you guys are gonna be able to give me an answer on, period. Everything has to go through the state, and then when the building permit, when they grant it, the building permit go through.
Yeah, so you'd have to go through the state, and then the state would guide you of all the things that you need to do, especially when it comes to like septic and building and all of that. And then if you're able to get a septic design and do, once you're able to get a septic design, then you could go to Carl and get the building permit, because that's what step one is, septic design. And then you'd be able to move forward and go through those steps.
As long as we meet all the setbacks.
Yeah, and then.
So it's basically, could potentially just be a buildable lot on a high end.
You
Or
can't,
currently, in the fashion that you're at with what you are, you have to turn it into a blank slate piece of land before you can have a
But it
but it's
also,
not camper, you can't do camper for camper right now.
If I didn't want to do anything, and I just kept it as is,
perfect, but
and I'm not touching anything other than parking a vehicle there,
You just have very expensive
what's that?
laws.
Yes,
you just have
you get very good.
you just have a $500,000 lot.
Well,
there's also the zoning board of adjustment, once you get to the state level, past the state level, if,
Right.
you could ask for an exemption.
You can ask for
You
Well,
variance.
get past the state.
You gotta get past the state, but if you're in the town, if the state says yes, but it doesn't meet current regulations, you can always ask for an exemption.
well, state
No,
or.
for the zoning towns.
If the state says you're back 250 feet, you're good or whatever, but if going back 250 feet puts you within the setback limit,
I
then,
mean, then he doesn't have to go 250
No.
feet.
well, however.
250 feet is the shoreline protected zone.
Where they-
From the line of reference, which
Yeah.
is the high water mark, or wherever they want to measure it. It's not technically that to
But anything,
250 feet back.
yeah, anything that happens within the 250 feet, you have to get a shoreline.
Right.
So,
It basically means you can't make like a parking lot because they don't want water to run off in the road or the soil.
right,
Yeah, it'll be the town zoning board after you get through the state.
right. The
That's
state
good.
gives you the,
If the state gives you the blessing and they say you're good to go, they give you the permits that you need to do something.
Yeah.
And then you come to the town and then,
you can apply for your building permit, and Kyle's gonna make sure you're meeting all your setbacks. If not, you're gonna have to go to the ZBA and get variance or apply for.
Apply for it.
And when you go for your permit, they're gonna ask you things like what you're planning on doing, or what they're gonna be for what they call permeable materials. So they're gonna ask you where your house is, they're gonna ask you where your driveway, depending on what kind of driveway you're doing. They're gonna ask for decks, porches, anything like that. So you'll have to have all of that in place because they calculate that towards the calculation. The property has to have less than 25% of that property to be at an average amount of impermeable materials.
I think the most important thing is if it's perkable and if you can get a septic system in there.
Yeah,
so I guess at the end of the day, you gotta figure out what you wanna do on it and get your,
Even if
because
it's,
you can't just say, I don't think you can go to the state and say, what can I do?
with what they have for septic designs nowadays too, they're not always like, it's not just always stone and pipe. There's tanks, there's biro, there's so many different options nowadays, so there's pretty much any way to skin cat nowadays. It's just what can be done on that particular property.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. Moving
don't feel
on.
the need to hang around.
Yep. You can stay as long as you like.
What's that?
You can stay as long as you like.
Stay for a few more minutes.
Until the lights go up.
What's that?
Until the lights go up.
Right.
Okay, quarterly with code enforcement, Mr. Carl.
This is just, this is the same thing that we got the other night, I thought.
For the most part, it just shows you all the different things.
No, it's just for me.
I don't really review within the meeting every little thing like a sign permit or a depth permit. I go over the big stuff that people usually care about.
No, I'm not, no, I'm just, so case in point, we have a new building on 57 Eau Claire, which is right next door here.
Right across the street, actually.
And so, my major concern with anything over the, what we call around the Lakes District is making sure that they meet all the setbacks over there. because
They were given a variance for 15 feet off the road setback.
So they went to the ZBA?
They had it like a year ago.
Oh, okay. 'cause
The new building that you're seeing is actually a permit for like something else.
I know,
It all ends up going under the same project, so it pops up on this.
no, that's the only thing thing that like I said, I have
I think
questions.
it might have been 10 feet if they run over the
I
road.
typically like to just, like, when we're over in the Lake District, making sure that those setbacks are,
Yep.
adhered to, because the neighbor might be coming to
Small
us.
lots, congested.
Yeah. So we've got 31 Lake Shore, so we did.
Third.
So it says 834.5 square foot rebuild. So that means that.
I think that was another part of, another permit for that same thing, but that's also in the house that just came up, so probably 2-3 months ago, that little tiny one that, John and his kid did.
The little blue one,
Little blue one,
but it was all done though.
yeah. Yeah, like I
Did
said,
you just put the second in?
he was probably just doing propane.
Oh,
So he pulls the propane in the same house with the one.
it
Oh,
will
it
show.
says maybe permits, it's certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, so that was just a CO one.
So I'm looking this up as a project name, what I'm looking at, so I guess maybe I should.
Down, you got to go see what it's actually for.
Because they just had a septic put in.
They did the septic probably like
2 months ago.
So he had to redo it, because where the driveway was going.
Oh,
So he filed for a new, whatever it was, to move the location.
Like this, you know, we have a garage, a cold storage, I think,
oh.
I'm just saying, those are, that is just the things that I primarily specifically follow the data stuff because the lots of them has been around.
Yeah, that's down the road on the Duke
Well,
Dallas
these Pinkham lots are,
here. A little further down from the lake, they're 1,000 feet.
Which is fine, I just don't, like, there
that
There are
are things that I
There
know
are
that,
tributary rivers and brooks and stuff over there that you do have to take into consideration though. So if something runs off within a certain volume of water into your lake, it's part of that shoreline as well.
so while you're here and while we're talking about like permits and everything, so, I don't want to pretend this is the folder permit. So, for the planning board, when somebody comes to us because they want to do a, like a subdivision, John Mullen came out with this checklist. And it's quite handy, so we don't miss anything. Like, you know, the 5 acre minimum, it has to be like 5 acres of upland, not wetland. So all of those checklists are in there. It would be nice to see a checklist for the building permits potentially on there, so like, you know,
it's one of the ones that is what area is it? Is it in the lake, what do we have?
the village district.
Is it in the village district, right, Kate, am I getting that wrong?
Oh, so you're talking about the shoreline zone, right?
Right.
The shoreline zone is in the village district.
Right,
Well, it's not just
so
for
is it in rural, regular rural, or is it in commercial? Just so that we know, because like I said, I like to call out specifically, and I don't mean it's the lake stuff, because everything is so tight over there.
So like, are you saying on this?
No, no,
No,
no.
on, on your building permit, like, you know, like, if I'm wanting to build a new house and I have to fill out the permit, one of the things.
So you want an option on the permit to just say it's within 250 feet of.
Yeah.
So what I am suggesting is that there is a checklist, so it's like, okay, is it the house on Lake Shore? This house on Lake Shore, it's a new build. Is this in the Lake Village District? Yes. What's the height of the house gonna be, because it's a new build? The height of the house in the Lake District is different from outside of the, like, Four Corners District. So then that way it's triggers to say, wait a minute, let me double check that this is correct and there's not like an oversight. And then even if it's, I don't know if there's, you know, something on there for the applicant to trigger them to say, wait a minute, Lake District, okay, the height. So nothing's getting missed, so then once you approve the building, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, that house is 40 feet tall, and then you've got, you know, 30 people in here getting ready to go after the selectmen and you because you allowed a 40-foot house, or, it doesn't mesh with what, what's supposed to be the village, it's just like another checks and balance.
Yeah, I mean,
Right,
it's repetitive because they get a drawing that shows all these dimensions, but if it makes it easier for you to review or something like that, if you want to look at a permit application, or if you think it's gonna make it easier for them to understand
But
when they
then,
see it,
Well,
I can do
and I
that.
also think that like, at the end of the day, per RSA, it's the selectmen that really are in charge of code enforcement. So if something
They might not
happens,
know how to look at the drawing.
so if something happens to you,
that's fine, look at something, but
yeah,
I'm just
you
saying,
can, but
I'm just saying that we have, like, we do this on the subdivision to make sure that we're staying in line. This way, I think it's like, we have this checklist and we have these extra couple of things on the building permit to say, what area of town is it in? All right, so basically, do they meet all the setbacks?
I have no problem with doing that.
No, so I'm saying, so if we meet all the setbacks, so then at the end, there's no question, right? There's no question to come back and say, oh, well, if they don't meet the setback, you need to go to go to the ZBA and get that, and then that's in the.
Yeah, I have no problem with doing that.
So, I just think, I don't think we're asking to have any.
I already have a template.
All right, so no, I'm just saying, nothing too elaborate, it's just something that, it just basically.
I already have a template available.
We checked it all, because, right, so someone over in the Lakes District, they don't say, like, unless you tell them, oh, your building is only 30.
but it's 35.
If they're a good builder, they do check ordinance.
Wow.
24 feet,
But it's one
Oh,
of
it's
those things,
24.
so it's one of those things where they do
35 is the rest of the town.
If the thing is they go ahead and build it above above what the requirement is, and then they each ask what they need, is after the last one variance. It's like, that's not the way we want to approach things.
Well, and then they say, oh, well, he said it was okay, he signed off on it,
It just helps create a second means of verification.
Yes.
rather than just looking at drawings, because sometimes I do get drawings that are made by crayon. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't read this. Not literally crayon usually, but they have that correct. And then I have to ask for the
Yeah, I mean, there's only a handful of things that I think we wanted to suggest saying, let's put this on there because it just makes sense, kinda.
Like that's as easy as I
Got
have
it,
to
I
copy
lost
paste,
it.
I have something that I can already use. Give it to you next meeting that I'm at, and here it is. I don't have to be at the meeting.
No, you can get it to Rob.
Well, and even like with there's different rules for like the Four Corners district versus,
I mean, it says check your local zoning ordinances, but,
well, I mean, even on the, like the zoning map, like in so for the Lake District, it's only single family homes versus Four Corners district, you can do multi-family homes and two-family homes.
that seems a lot.
Yeah, so there's more, so I'm just saying like, depending on
I can
which.
have it just say like, is it a single family home, is it a multi-family home, is it an ADU? is it-
Right.
The
Yes.
first thing is what zone are
What
you
zone?
in?
You know,
That
what
guides,
zone are you
that
in?
guides, that's the first thing,
Yeah,
because that
what zone
guides
are you in,
everything else.
What's your left setback, what's your right setback, what's your front setback, what's your back setback?
And then I think with that checklist, then like nobody can say,
Is the
I
corner
have no
lot-
reason.
Is the corner lot's another question that you want, because if it's two corners, now you have 50 foot, 50 foot.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, it's just high level, not a lot of detail other than, the zone, and then the type of building, I guess, like you said, is it single family, multi-family, ADU, but that basically drives, the.
There's some questions that I've been working on doing a new permitting, the way they include things that verbiage and all that stuff.
well, and then at the
You've been
end,
working on.
I think also at the end of the day, no one says like, I didn't realize that I was considered in the Four Corners district, or I didn't realize that I was considered the Lake. Nobody can play.
Well, I have to often call and ask things like, is it gonna be a full basement, is it gonna be a finished basement, is it gonna
Right,
be
so,
an insulated basement?
put that right on your.
Like I could just have the questions right on there and everything. I can make it simpler, have that available. That's a good thing. Permit, but-
Well,
Well, let's do it as a checklist, it's not part of the permit, per se.
I mean, and
A
then,
cover sheet or something that way,
And then you always put the disclaimer that not everything you may require is on this
Right.
checklist.
It's in the permit already, it's not already, but I'll just put it on that checklist.
We don't need to.
I think it says these are a list of things that may be required but not inclusive.
I just think it's something to consider to cover everyone's,
Yeah, it's simple for people now.
protect the town.
It's also transparent,
People don't like to read all of it.
Yes, and it's very transparent.
the way they.
It's like when you were in school and they told you to like put your name as the first thing, and you forget to put your name, and you did the whole test and you failed. That deal. Yeah, that's what people do nowadays.
Show your work. Show your work.
Okay, zoning ordinance update, 2026 version.
Yeah. I did not make copies of all this. Okay, John, but I'm gonna pass this back. My question to you guys, this has all the changes and updates.
Is that the what?
Is that 6A that we're covering right now?
No, we're on 7. We're
Right.
on, oh,
We didn't
actually,
cover
you
6A.
didn't
Oh, you didn't
ask
talk
for
about-
the building code update.
Oh.
Under building code update.
There's a big one on there for you.
Oh, what's that?
The big one on there now is Class 6 roads are no longer under selection. The Class 6 road thing is now under the code enforcement.
Well, which means-
So the waiver that we had, you still have your waiver, but the decision to do it, it goes back to the town, but the decision to do it doesn't have to go to selection anymore. It has to go to the code enforcement to decide if a house can go on 6.
So if you go to your. Because ultimately, I'll code
Is that
it.
the waiver comes in?
That's what we do have.
Yeah, but the waiver used to have to go through that. Now the waiver doesn't go through that, it just gets submitted.
So that's been just amended by state law, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that came straight from Kyle over at Stratford Planning.
So,
So I would believe it's pretty true.
can,
And that was one of the things that was voted on, which is why I think, here,
now, what about the paper trail? What about the firemen being noticed that they don't have to
All that's
file?
in that waiver.
right,
You
they
you
have,
have to say that we are not getting services or liable for any services. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
right, they have to sign the waiver and, register, and it has to be put with the registry.
So, yeah,
Registry of deeds, Kate,
that's all, and I just realized how important that is to the town.
Yeah.
And liability.
The biggest thing that we face with the Class 6 roads is not having utilities. Which if they can show me that they have a battery backup system and a reliable means of electrical, we can consider that not off-grid, but it has to be a regional system. We're not plugging in that stuff that you got from Harbor Freight. We're paying someone like $50,000 to install the system. You have a real reliable electrical storage system, diesel backup.
So I'll ask this question, so if somebody just wanted to put a camp on, down on John Brook Road, and it's basically a camp, and it's off grid, you can't,
Absolutely, you just can't occupy it like full time.
okay, that's what I was, so it can't be a permanent residence.
You're not getting permission.
I feel like they lost it. I'm not working on it, I don't do build facilities, okay? Yeah, and we were aware of that part, because that was one of the things we worked on, had Robin work on, getting a waiver that needed to be submitted to.
Oh, so is number 12 still applicable to tonight's meeting, or I'm not?
We haven't even hit 12 yet.
Well, no, but that's private road versus.
Private versus
class
5-6.
six.
Oh, I see, thank you for that.
And the other big one is July 1st, 2024 IRC being adopted by the state.
Wait a minute, 2020.
July 1st, 2024.
2024?
2024. Currently we're using 2021.
Oh, okay. I'm apologizing. And what's being adopted?
The 2024 IRC book.
Okay.
And all of this corresponds to
What's IRC?
2024 IBC, the code,
Is that the
code.
electrical?
Nope, that's NEC. IRC is the International Residential Code Book, and the International Business Code Book is the IBC.
And what's the date that it's being?
July 1st. Same with that waiver change to July 1st.
Yes, that's right.
When you have spare time, so you have so much of it, if you could just kind of breeze through, or if you just notice any ordinances that you feel need to be looked at, addressed, don't make sense for us, need to be added, subtracted.
Camper would be here.
I wouldn't mind just like readdressing that because,
I don't want campers, the
Well-
ordinance saying that you can have campers.
yeah, because, well, I got like conflicting, depending on who I talk to, it's conflicting. Because it's like when I talk to NHMA, they're telling me that like, now that it's been rescinded, like it's not allowed anymore in the town. But then I'm hearing other.
There's nothing stating anything in your ordinance book. The state says anything that is their rules can be superseded by the town. We can make them stricter. If you have a rule, it's completely out of the book. You go by the state. So if we don't have anything that's stating,
Well, and so like that's what I'm saying because like NHMA is saying something different to me. So that's why I'm like, what gives? So it's like, do we need to write up another one and revise it? And even if it says like, it's,
Make it clear.
yeah, it's just to make it clear.
I mean, it's entirely enforceable for me right now because the intent is there.
Yeah.
We have the documentation that shows intent. It's very enforceable.
Didn't our lawyers review it before it was put into the town warrant?
It was.
But I would recommend putting something in there just to make it so that there is no shadow of doubt. It says no private campsites allowed.
So I tried looking for other towns that had verbiage like that, and I could not find really, like, when I searched around. Although Rochester just redid theirs. But Rochester, like, they only allow it in the fairground area, but that's because.
It's more just for like the traveling people.
Because like all the triangle lovers, they would be up for free. But like they had an addition, so I'll probably have to go back and look to see like what theirs now says. But I think theirs a little bit more.
And the village district reflect the effects in the website.
Well,
Say that again, in the village district, what?
Like the 48 inches on the website.
what do you mean? Like the ordinance?
I don't believe it's updated on the website.
Well, that's what,
That's what
that's
she's-
what Robin was just asking us about, that's what we're,
That's on Southern.
that's what we're about.
So it's not the village district either. The
Sorry,
village district
Sun-
is not
Sunrise Lake
like,
District,
yes.
my bad.
It's confusing and that's why I'm
So
trying
what
to keep it
exactly
straight.
entails the Sunrise Lake District?
You can see it on the official Middleton Town zoning map created by Stratford Regional Planning on your way up the stairs to your office.
Yeah, right here by that,
Try to keep her around.
that's, right here by
Keep it
that
in mind.
computer.
Because this is important and it's very difficult.
So many terms.
It's a lot of stuff to keep
Well,
straight.
everything sounds the same.
Anything else?
I don't think there was anything else very important that I can think of.
Good job, Carl. Thank you for coming.
Yes,
I hope that helped a little bit.
Helps a lot.
it helps when you're here so we can clarify things.
And if you'd like to know more about the Sunrise Lake Village District, you're welcome to come to our next meetings.
So you pulled in $11,000 this month, the month of May, and
Yes.
that's like huge. Last year you only did 2,600.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. Building does what building does.
That's a good point.
There could be next month I could get someone that comes in here and wants a 7,000 square foot house. You never know. Could be.
You may go on Clay Road.
By the water, on Clay Road.
So if we're all done with Carl, we can move on to the zoning ordinances for Robin. She has the updated ones, and I think if we approve them, she can put them on the website.
So this is my question. It's, I'm gonna pass this. It's got all the changes in it. What I'm proposing is that we go with that. And
Say that again?
what I'm proposing is that we go with that because it is updated. But it's not something I'm proud of. The formatting should be changed. And this is profile, the suggestion on that change format. So in my email to you guys last week or whatever it was, asking for some extra time to be able to work on it. It's not as urgent as it was when I wrote that. state will come up with that. But I would like to fix it so it's right. So, I mean, yeah, that's just to give you an idea of what's wrong with it. It's how to change it. I mean, I don't expect you guys to read all the people, but you want to have an idea of what's involved. But I would like to do that.
What's wrong? No, I would say yes, let's put up the most common we have, and you have worked through correct, getting the format together.
One more point, that is not proofread. So, it should be, I mean, I took the old Word document and I merged it with what was on there then. It should be okay, but it hasn't been proofread.
Saying it could be passive tense in here,
What's that?
passive tense in here. Grammatical, and
Yeah, no, I mean, I did spell check and grammar.
I'm just saying, you know, like,
But I just, I don't know, you know, like I said, I haven't read it word for word.
So I have a question. So for like RSA and making sure we're doing things right, and posting things, do we have to have it available in multiple ways to, so like, what is it, like meeting minutes, you have to have them within like 5 days?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we have to have it available, we should have it on the website, it needs to be in the workbook.
so technically, like, we do have it available, somebody came in and said, let's see, right now, like, so we're not, obviously, we would like to have it on the website as soon as possible for convenience sake.
That was satisfactory.
Oh, that, okay. So I just want to make sure that we're not.
The other option is I was thinking, I don't know if you guys want to do this, but if everybody took like 30 pages and read them.
No, this is the actual version.
that would be nice, we could do that.
Or, as we go along, I mean, we can go with this one now, and then if people see anything that might need to be changed, let us know. I'm gonna file.
I would,
We're all gonna put them before we got much crap.
yeah, I mean, I think we can go on saying, let's proceed with what you have, with the understanding that it could potentially have some updates made to it. Correct. But I think it's a live document, for the most part. I think it's always a live document anyways, because as we can make changes
In effect, as of March at the town meeting.
Right.
So those changes are all
So
very sure.
I'll make the motion then to go ahead and put that up on the website as is, understanding that it could potentially have.
For goodness sakes, that's true for all of the
It
documents.
is, that's what I'm saying, it's a live document, I mean, it's, so we can put it up there based off of. It has
And if we find mistakes, what's the,
I don't think it's gonna be any worse than what's up there.
Well, that's my opinion, I mean, I really am embarrassed with some.
I don't think she changed verbiage so much that it could destroy the area.
I don't know, read the amendment on the fences and let us know what you think.
It's not on
Okay,
there.
so,
It's not on there at all.
Fences is fixed.
yeah, okay, so if we,
So to me,
Okay, so Roxanne's making the motion.
so do you wanna make that, how do you wanna make it clear, how do you wanna make that motion sound as far as, I get it, it's just a live document, basically, we're just making the motion to go ahead and move forward with the ordinances updated with, from the town meeting, right, or from the town election updates.
Sure, look at it on the website.
Put it on the website.
Second,
Now, read it. And then you'll get your.
All in favor?
Yeah, no, wait a minute, so Kate will read it, thank you, Kate. Thank you,
yeah,
Kate.
no, please do. Yeah.
Oh, you know?
But in the
Okay.
meantime, I'm going
Wait, we
to,
get a moment.
oh,
Anybody have any more discussion on this?
You wanna discuss this more?
no, I just want to say, in the meantime, I want to work on reforming.
Yes.
So
And then we'll
it
vote.
looks good. And it's,
All those in favor?
Thank you.
and
Thank
this
you.
has your,
It's
your
not,
48 inches in it.
it's not a small task.
up to 48 inches, up to, yeah. So that way if you're 44
And
inches.
so then for the future changes to the formatting, as you format it the way you want, I would just say like format it and update it on the website.
Well, I'm gonna wait, I'd rather wait till
Do
it's
it
all
all,
done.
yes.
Yeah, take it from office, but wait till it's all formatted, then you guys can look at it. I mean, it's not changing, it's not.
Oh, right.
So you can't have it,
And
have it.
Although putting it in AI, they can affect the legal.
Okay.
Well, AI isn't always right, but what do you mean, how would it affect the legal status?
I don't know, it said that it's important that it's structured correctly, because it's a legal.
Well, we like it, so we're looking at it for readability, and you know what section you're in.
Well, but this is nice actually, because it does update the table of contents automatically, the page numbers.
Oh,
are
yes,
right.
yeah.
It doesn't have your orphan widow. thing,
Widows and all.
But I want to put that in there, doesn't have.
And you've got an extensive citation at the back where you made some changes, so I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was involving,
So great job, Robin, thank you. It's a lot of work and it's not easy.
it's actually my baby.
Oh my God.
You can even put that on. So the invite to Purple Air on the July 16th meeting, so he'll be at our July 16th meeting. Hopefully he'll have had time between last month and July to like review things, research stuff, and get us going on what we wanted to work on. Also, he sent me an email and I signed an extended contract. So the contract that we have in place has now been extended to March 31st,
You actually have a copy of that.
27.
Don't have a copy of the contract, though, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, you got a copy of the extension page.
Is there a way we can get a copy of the contract?
I think I have it on the email.
Please send it,
Okay.
because I would like to know what we agreed to.
To give them all of our money, some people all of our but just kidding.
I wish they would do all of our work, but often they've been doing all of our work over the years and nobody's happy with the ordinance. Just saying.
Well, now now it's a different group and we have say, so anyway, so the contract will be extended until the 31st of March next year, which will be great because it'll get us through town meeting and elections and everything else, so hopefully he can help with the cleanup of some stuff, so that'll be good. A FEMA risk map process, is that just one of those?
I mean, I have one question, Kate knows a lot about this, but my one question is, we're now in the appeal period, the flood maps, the preliminary flood maps have come up. It's actually quite the educational, and I think I included one sample map.
Yeah, you did, thank
That's
you.
Tanglewood, that shows the current map and the new map, the flood zone goes. Okay, that's what's proposed, and if there's no appeal, it should be, concrete, that year. What I found interesting is it seems like less of the lake homes are in the flood zone now, and more along the river. So I'm trying to get a map that shows a picture of the whole thing.
Well, it makes sense,
That's right, John's right, it makes sense.
because
Did you find the actual, like, updated stuff now?
Yeah, the one right. That's a section of it. The only thing I can bring at this time, I can get to the section.
I looked at it, couldn't make heads or tails of it, trying to down there.
I can't.
I couldn't make heads or tails of it, where long to go. Every time you go to it, just show me this one.
Oh, yeah, no, it is, I spent 2 hours on the phone, the woman from the old.
Little bit.
She walked me through about herself, and I think I understand some of it.
John had a great point to make though.
yes, it does make sense why the river or the stream is flood zone, not the lake, because the last time we had a flood in 2006, it was the river, the water went down the river. Same thing with San Paul River in Rochester, it was downstream of the flood. Lake Elm,
Well, that's quite interesting, you can file a letter of map adjustment if you want to try to get out of the flood zone.
remember all flood,
It's like on the lake district, it's 37 of them on the north side of the lake that have been filed in the past 10 years.
Okay.
So, and accepted, so that means.
well, maybe there's low-lying areas. I mean, the flood zone was redone after the 06 floods because things were flooding all over the place that no one expected. So it's fairly current. And that's based on real information. But yeah, that's why it's right there.
But it also affects the national insurance program, which is a whole other thing, but my question is, right now we're in the appeal period. So I want to know, how do we know if any appeals have been filed?
We'd have
If
to
you
ask.
guys, the BOS had a meeting,
Why is that important for you to know that?
What's that?
Why is that important for you to know that?
Appeals?
Yes.
Because they have to be settled before we can get that letter of final determination.
The longer we have, okay, so I had two questions for you, Becca. One is, didn't they tell you they would be giving us a flood ordinance that was tailored for our town?
No, they gave us two samples. One, if we have AE zones, which again, I gotta figure that out. And one, if we don't have AE zones, it's the Model B and the Model C.
I thought they were gonna give us, given what we had, if we needed to change it, so we do need.
that. I said
so-
to them, I don't know.
Oh, you haven't got received back. So the letter of determination, once we get that, I thought it said something in here about getting it in, if we got it in the fall, then we could make those changes at the town meeting, and we wouldn't have to have a special public hearing,
Right.
because you have to do that 6 months.
Right.
You have 6 months after that, letter of determination. Now, does the town have somebody who is designated as the FEMA?
Yes.
Is it,
I
it's
think it's first the emergency.
You know, I know it's not Steve Fartman.
Oh, okay, yes, not Bruce, right, it is.
He was very helpful, actually.
Because he does this in another town.
oh, so he knows what he's talking about, so that's
Want
great.
to get clarification on these letters and the
He's,
distinction between each other?
Well, what we need to know is how we have to change our zoning ordinance.
Well, we have a template.
Which one? I thought you said there were two.
Well, there's two. One depending on, like I said, we're an A and AE zone.
Yeah.
And you sent those templates out too, didn't you?
But I mean, I can get back to the follow-up questions, but frankly, it's taken me a while to try to understand. It's pretty complicated.
Yeah, it's confusing.
But anyway, I think we need to follow up on anybody in town. I don't think there is. There's appeal where they are in the flood zone.
And they appeal to,
I think the town and then the state has a hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
and so they would go to the Board of
Well,
Selectmen.
that's what I'm thinking,
We have to let them know that we're looking
at the appeal.
at the
Yeah, and then they'll have a hearing, and then 6 months later, the maps are fine.
They don't just automatically say you have an appeal, you have to let them know that we have.
Who's the hearing?
I'm not there.
I wonder, would Tim know? I mean, because we did post on the website, we posted
Yes,
the 3 hours here.
I mean, you can send an email to the BOS and email and say, is anybody aware of any?
Right. Because I mean, it kind of is a big deal.
It is a big
This is
deal.
a big deal, not just for the owners of the properties, as well as also a bigger deal for the town, because that brings down your property values.
And it also gives you access
Because
to funds
it's
that are money.
Because now you have to have your FEMA insurance. So now that property value has been appreciated because of the flood.
And you're trying to
I'm
settle.
not aware of any appeals, but send it to the BOS,
Yeah, that's
if
good.
somebody else has it. Usually if
Um,
something's happening, I'm aware of it.
What's the process for mail downstairs? Does it just go to Kim and then she?
And I'll clarify again what
You know,
we
would
have
she,
to
would
have.
she be, should she be noticed that we're looking for anything with a FEMA stamp on it? Who she's
It would come
directing
to,
it
it
to?
would come to the BOS.
Okay.
I can ask her, but
Or
No,
either-
it's fine.
you
I'm
can
just
either-
saying.
I think it would either come to the BOS depending on it, or it would, or she might give it to like, Steve.
Yeah, well, that's why I'd like to get, find out where she's directing that mail to and,
and I'll get clarification on the ordinance because I sent them ours, the article, and she said she's prioritizing something else right now that she would look at it, so maybe you see the truth up there.
Yeah, it's starting.
But I also want to verify, she said something about we can adopt the ordinance before the town meeting.
You have a
Leave
set-
the
you have a
dates
session.
blank.
You have to request a session.
Yeah, okay, we have that.
But there's certain verbiage that you're allowed to change in certain amount, depending on where you are in that verbiage.
Yeah, and the dates, you need the dates as to be determined. But yeah, no, I'd like to get more detail on that.
So to be continued, we'll just,
Yeah, we
is that July?
we gotta keep at it.
All right,
Let's keep it on the list.
number 9, impact fees.
What about,
Come on, Carl.
It's gonna take care of it.
Well, Kate and I are going to,
Oh, yeah, wait a minute, yeah, there's a webinar on June 25th, I'm sorry, didn't have to speak over you.
Something, I don't know how intense it's gonna be.
There's a webinar, June 25th, 2026 this year. From 12 to 1 on impact fees. So it's by the Office of State Planning and BEA. They're combined somehow, but
Yeah,
yeah.
see, one of those hours.
And I only was aware of it because we all got that email from Robin, and I appreciate that one.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good start.
Yeah, no,
Because we have an impact fee ordinance, but it's not really clear of really.
Nobody knows how to use it apparently.
well, how do you want it?
Yeah.
So maybe this will be
So,
baby steps.
I don't like it.
Yeah, well, because everything that we learned from that, who was that guy?
Me and that John Mullen had.
Yeah.
He's like, it's all formula driven.
It's-
It's not, it's not a straight, oh, you're doing this, it's gonna be $200. It's a calculation of how you would have that needs to be done. And it's kind of like there was no direction as to who definitely would do that, or it's not an easy, it was just very odd.
Basically, it sounded to me like he was basically trying to, I don't want to say like deter, I'm saying he's like deter us from doing it, but he pointed out clearly of how hard it is to have an impact fee and to manage it, especially for a small town.
Okay, so great. The town voted it in. We do have the ability. We have all the other steps done. And it's something that the town wants, so we're moving forward.
So I guess we got to learn how
So
to.
when you go to your class.
Well, no, I'm sitting in my little office watching a webinar.
No, that's what I'm saying, when you watch it, you can get some information
And
yeah.
will we have that is this one of the webinars that are available for us to send out to everybody if they want to watch
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Or is it on,
Because it's a free
or is it on YouTube?
I think most of them are on YouTube.
Okay.
But if you watch it, you get the link sent.
Because I know Christine in her spare time wants to watch.
But it could give us a direction as to some resources to go and use, that's.
Hopefully it'll put some daylight on it. It's June 25th from 12 to 1. It's a BEA workshop. I can try to send you the link or Robin. Carl wants the link to the webinar.
I probably have.
There's also a code enforcement webinar coming up that looked really good for next month, yeah.
Master plan.
Probably, because I'm looking at 12, you're looking at 12.
No, we're looking at it, we don't have people number down.
Impact fees and independence master plan.
What happened to the financial report?
That's down by number
That's
16.
number 16.
Oh. Okay.
Go on, look in the paperwork.
Okay.
I thought, I was looking for it too, and I'm like,
I changed the order a little thing.
Because these guys will give it to them.
I have some to try. Master plan, 2022 was when it was the last adoption of it. They recommend they are updated every 5 to 10 years, but really you should be on it every year, and a good first step would be to take a look at the surveys sent out in past years and reuse the same surveys. I'm all for, you know what I mean, unless you want to add some more questions. Wakefield's master plans were done in 2010.
So would we start looking?
So we're way ahead of the game.
So if it was last adopted in 2022, would we start doing the research like next year?
Oh, yeah. Keep it on our,
yeah,
look for, the first step is the survey.
I think the idea is maybe to have it for 2028. You think that exists?
But I think we should,
How
find
long
out.
did it take to gather everything to do, you know? Were you part of that?
I've been part of them in the past, it's not long.
You see what we have, right?
It's a survey.
It's not.
It took
Okay, so I guess this, should we maybe consider not using who we used last?
Yeah, I think we should see how much Stratford Regional would do.
Yes, so yes, actually, we talked about Stratford Regional doing are participating in this activity.
They should ask Blair when we talk to him.
Get a quote.
Yeah, it took about a year.
The biggest part of it and the most important part of it is getting people to answer the survey.
So that's gonna be like on a Blair question.
Yeah, and this is just gonna be ongoing on the list that is constantly reminded.
Capital improvement plan that.
Yep, that was last done in 2023. They recommend you redo those every 6 years, but really it should be on your radar every year because it's, you need to get those surveys out to all the department heads and see what their
What their,
capital costs and whatnot, yeah.
what their capital needs are going
So the biggest problem is the school district, they did not want to commit to any capital cost.
They didn't want
I'm just saying, that
they
was,
didn't want
to. No, you're right.
but that, I mean, we asked them and we filled it in, but it was, you know, they were reluctant to commit to anything. So, that's, look, well, I mean, maybe if we ask the right questions, they'll be, but,
Okay.
okay, well, we can just give up, that's not their option. Okay, okay.
Well, ask, just I know.
I think the messaging is key.
I think you're absolutely right.
How do you ask it? Like, we're working on our capital improvement plan. What do you see for capital?
Well, I mean, again, you know, there's a lot of hostility with the school board, so you have to take the temperature down. I didn't say kinder.
Diplomatic?
It's just everyone's got their feelings hurt.
Well,
we can agree to disagree, asking a question for input. And,
Well, they were reluctant and it's a new board, so it's possible it changes.
no, I
I get it.
agree with you, John, I agree with you.
But we gotta be open and ask.
Okay, private roads, private road waiver. So I think we got the private road waiver done. Did we?
It's all done, it's all done, it's, it's on the website. I've incorporated the attorney's suggestions. One more thing I want to add about the attorney just recommended that the fire chief is consulted, before the building permit.
Is that on the permit?
I don't think it is.
Would it be good to put that on?
He suggested that.
So before the
The
building,
lawyer suggested, the attorney suggested,
The attorney suggested that we recommend that the fire chief
review
review the.
the situation.
so would he review the, once the
Makes
waiver
sense.
is signed?
Okay, I'll
I
check
think
the
before-
form, I don't think it's in the
I think
form.
before the waiver is signed,
Right.
before the waiver to be signed, it's saying that you should add the fire chief because life safety comes higher in the priorities than code.
Yeah, but the
That's the
waiver
fire chief.
getting signed, that's upon the property's own. So the property owner buys the property and says like, I wanna do this.
So wait a minute, actually, is the recommendation on the building permit, is this a class 6 road, public road, or private road?
So you
Because
know,
then if it's a private road, then we need to, okay, we need to have the fire chief, you know.
want the zone to take a
well,
I think that's because, or if it's, so I could say if it's private road, town road, private road, town road, class 6 road, state road, because you know, if you live on the state road, you go to the state to get your your driveway permit. That's where that starts,
Yeah.
versus going to the, you know, I mean, so I think it's just useful to know what road you're because that might drive how we need to move forward with.
so, and if legal is suggesting or recommending that the fire chief have, is he saying have like, the fire chief have, what is that?
Well, it's gonna be a review of the fire chief to say where is that, because when they get in the private road, they're gonna have access to the building.
There's certain, yes, for certain types of road, they have to be a certain width without having to turn around after a certain amount.
So do we need to have something to where there is some form of communication, like on file, like that the fire chief acknowledged that?
I don't think he said that, I thought I had the email with him.
I'm just
I think
saying
he just
because
recommended that the fire chief.
Or at least initialed, a
Yeah.
waiver?
I would like to see something signed, initial, written, just so if something were to happen and the property owner said, well, like fire chief said it was okay, and then the fire chief was like, I never knew what was going on. At least there's some kind of,
I recommend the fire chief be consulted for all of these applications because the state fire code requires fire access roads, which is defined to require a certain amount of vertical and horizontal clearance, turnarounds, and construction that will support the weight of the apparatus, etc.
So let's,
These conditions are waivable only by a variance granted by the state fire marshal.
But I think that needs to happen before the waiver is signed.
Yeah.
right, so I guess part of that should be part of the building, so that should be part of the building permit process to say what type of road is it on. And so then if you see private, then you have a section that says, or fire chief section, fire chief, you know, and have it
So
sign
the SOP is I get a permit, I see the permit, I see that it's a private road, I say you need to get a waiver, they get a waiver.
well, not private road, it'd be class 6 road, right?
No,
Or is it
it's
private?
private. We talked plastics earlier.
Oh, that's, I'm sorry.
I was reprimanded earlier.
We said, take us way down on number 12.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, so, okay, so we'll implement that part into the process, that means.
So I guess do we need to maybe amend that waiver for a section where the fire chief signs it, just acknowledge it? Because anything not in writing hasn't happened. So it's like, I'm just thinking of like the town's liability. If something were to be built and like the property owner comes back and says, I got the okay for the fire chief, I talked to him on this day, and then something happened.
But no, I understand is the waiver that's being signed is by the homeowner knowing that they are taking this and living on a private road.
Where they will not get
So
protection
that's
from.
not for our fire chief to sign. Our fire chief is to say, maybe on the building permit section that says, yes, he signed off and says that this, you know, he's good, you know, he's okay or whatever. But the waiver is that the.
Then he's saying I'm taking.
Basically, I'm taking
Higher
the
risk.
risk, looking on a private road that maybe services can't get down.
So I guess what's the point of the fire chief getting involved at all? And
Well, because he could say, well,
Making them aware that that is our unprotected property.
right, he could say, you know what, yes, we're aware that, you know, we know that you wanna build down on Pine Road or whatever it is, in Pine Ridge, but, you know, at the last place, it's like,
I'm just letting you know my truck can't get down the road.
and so,
well, isn't that waiver also saying the same thing?
No, really.
well, no, but then
It's
he
saying,
can say,
it's
but he
saying
can say
it in
that
like
Jared
in
has,
terms of colors, not like black and white.
but he can say the fire chief advised to say that your truck might not make it down there, even though, you know, you think you have a perfect environment, and you're signing the waiver. It's just kind of like another fail-safe.
It's saying this is the reason why we're saying that these services might not be able to occur. And he's going to allow.
I'm just wondering where
This
legal,
could happen because your road is insufficient here, or this turnaround isn't available, so our truck couldn't actually get in and out of it.
Because that waiver that gets signed with, that's supposed to, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, that waiver is supposed to be filed with the Stratford.
Recorded.
With the Stratford County Registry of Deeds. And that's a waiver that the landowner, the homeowner, is the property owner is.
We just created a form and made it easier for them to make sure.
Yes, yes.
it just kind of put up a flag for me that our legal is saying that our fire chief should look at it. And I'm just thinking, if they should, if he should be the one, if he should also review it and look at things, should we not also have like a paper trail of some sort with him acknowledging?
I think that's the problem.
No, that's what I'm saying on the building permit, there's a section that when you say what kind of road it is, if it's a private, then there's gonna be this section down here that you say, okay, Jared is here, he's gone out, he could make his comments to say, yeah, this looks fine, however, there is only 40 feet wide, you know, so this could be an issue of what, you know, keep the homeowner aware or the property owner aware that
Or at the time of the bill, because the road has
services might
changed.
not make it down there.
And it has to have insurance too.
I think the waiver's
It has to have the
good.
ability to show insurance, that's part of that, that's part of that new regulation. You have to prove it. I could not figure out head and tails of how that works, because it sounded to me, the only way that someone can build on one of these roads, based off of that, would tell me that you have to pay cash to be able to do the thing, because no real banks can say, yeah, I'll give you a loan and have to.
I'll give you my number on.
But
Yeah,
again,
that's what it says.
but I mean, again, like, so if you're talking like on class 6 road, we talked about that, that has to be.
Well, no insurance companies that be like, oh, you can't get services. That's great. I love that.
Well,
I think we need to clarify it. It's good for liability, but it's just when a house burns in the woods. I mean, you say, well, no, it's just a whole bunch of fire trucks there. They'd have to use the off-road vehicles, and it would be longer hoses, and wouldn't have the same capability as the house with
Well, they
access.
which is why there's a waiver for both the private road and the
Right.
class 6 to say they know that they're
Right.
taking that risk.
I've seen firefighters access mountains, but they're all using off-road vehicles and long hoses instead of a fire truck.
I guess as far as the insurance that you were talking about,
Yeah.
I think that part of that new rule hasn't been fully addressed, because it's, I would think that no bank is gonna give you a loan for construction if you can't have services.
They stay
Maybe
kind
I'm
of
wrong, but I would think that bank.
Fire department,
That's their choice.
Well, they can have services, it's just they're gonna be reduced.
If I was a bank, I wouldn't give them a loan.
Are you telling me that our fire department wouldn't try to save the house?
Oh, yeah, but they're up on Piper Mountain Road, not getting up there with fire trucks.
No,
And they're not gonna buy the fire truck risk
they would use forestry vehicles.
firefighters.
I just think they have to play out, yeah.
They risk vehicles from Harrison Delaware and brush fire.
Why is
So they can get up, they can get anywhere they want.
I'm saying, I'd be prepared for changes. In my opinion.
Alright, rules of procedure.
I just want to let everybody know, okay, they're done, they're on the website, town clerk has them.
So we can take
They're
this off the
saying
list?
the development regulation, thank you.
Thanks, Kate, can we take this off the list now?
no, we don't have them, we don't have them in our book.
She's nagging me all the time. So, and the development
Yeah, right,
regulation.
We need a copy.
Developmental regulations.
Same thing, that's what I just wanted to say, they're on the website. And the clerk has it.
So I noticed the validity
Yeah.
section that's on me. Now I've looked at other towns and I can't speak, pardon. The validity section and severability sections are similar. I just haven't found any wording. It's just saying that if one part of our document is wrong, it doesn't say that the whole document is wrong because one piece is wrong.
Right, okay.
That's all.
So you cannot come up with the
Intent.
wording for that, right? I'll put it in my file.
Yeah,
and next
yeah.
time we update the regulations.
Well, I don't even know if you'd have to. That would be kind of an interesting question. I don't understand why, like, for just a simple clerical error, you can't, you know? I know you're very good about that, Robin, but I'd like to get that clarified someday.
Add
Without having to have a further, I mean, we intend to have a further public hearing, but, because I'd like to get that letter out of there, and then I think at some point I'd like to have a discussion on the merger section. But until we get, well, we don't have the update. Until we get the updated development regulations, I don't really want to. We don't. I didn't. Well, do I have to print it out?
You can handwrite it if you like.
I want to stop printing 10 copies of drafts here. Drowning in paper.
So we all need a copy of the development regulations. We all need a copy of the rules of procedure, and we all need a copy of the zoning.
If that's all right with the board of selectmen to use all that paper, I will.
Oh my God, these are tools. I can't use my paper. It's $54 for a cartridge.
I can do that with anything.
So are you getting us updated copies of everything?
Print copies.
Okay.
Double sided.
You know, too, as far as that change, validity, I would rather make the next update of.
I want to find out what.
File and make it like what you and I were talking.
All right, that's what
I was talking to her yesterday when I was like going over things for today. I know it's a living document and I know that you can change it any time, but to say, let's look at this, let's update it, and then we'll readdress it in 6 months or whatever, instead of like every single month having to fine tune something. I think if we're gonna go through and look at it, like, go through and look at it, make a change instead of,
We can fine tune it and I can collect them, like I said, I just don't wanna keep updating the document, reprinting it and rewriting
yeah,
it.
or, but have it
So
so
you guys can talk about whatever you want.
So I guess, I think the goal should be is, we'll say, by September's meeting, we'll have kind of reviewed, fine tuned, and then we're gonna get Russ Robin in, so then October, we're good.
I thought that was the plan for
I
the
thought
development regulations, is we were gonna review it, and then, a little bit at each meeting, but we don't have the updated one to make the
You'll
further
have it
updates. We'll have it at the next meeting.
All right,
okay.
we got a plan.
So we're done with, development regs. Any updates on the legislation? Any,
Have we heard anything about the minimum acreage?
About the what?
The minimum
acreage, minimum?
Changes.
Not a word.
So the legislative session has stopped until the fall.
Yeah.
They did, adopt HB 244, updating and codifying the municipal enforcement of building and fire, which, Carl told us about. And anything else? HB 1010 makes reasonable updates to the universal mixed-use zoning mandate, allowing residential development in commercial zones.
That's mixed use.
Yeah. House Bill 1300 mandates a local school tax cap question.
The what?
House Bill 1300
Yeah.
mandates a local school tax cap question and related limitations on central office administrative expenses.
Putting a tax cap on school.
Yeah.
So would that be like statewide?
Yes.
What's the cap at?
It's, it's a cost, it's like an inflation, yeah. It's, yeah.
All I know is look up HB 1300 and it was adopted, so it hasn't been signed into law by
No, it has to
government.
be, yeah.
Right.
It's
Well,
all
I don't-
the government, yes.
It also could be like Prop 2.5 mass, and it's easy, but
House Bill 1588 allows multifamily dwelling units on land zoned to permit commercial uses by right, prohibits municipalities from adding additional requirements. That's what I was-
1588?
Yeah, House Bill 1588. Multifamily dwelling units on land zoned commercial. And then, what other stuff? SB, Senate Bill 564 prohibits municipal limits on dead-end road length if the road is compliant with state fire code. And this was, I got this from the NHMA site legislation, and this was as of June 5th. But I would really like something simpler where it says it's passed, and a better synopsis.
You never mind whether it's passed, you know, this supports.
Those passed, those are passed, but they're not in the.
Okey dokey. Thanks for that update. That makes me crazy when I look at that. The financial report.
Yeah, so,
Robin's good.
how is Robin paid?
Robin's not paid out of.
Okay, how is she paid?
She's paid as the administrative clerk. She's under the executive. I think it's the executive. It's like the, if you look at a regular full budget, it's kind of like the fourth line down, the third line down.
So she's, yeah, well, I'd like to, but, I mean, we'd have to figure that out. I gotta figure out where, I can't figure anything out without having numbers in front of
To
me.
see where Robin is paid,
You need
because
the full budget.
you need the full budget, because she.
But what is she? Is she a town employee?
Yeah, but the title on the budget is
No.
SSBK.
No.
And the second line of the budget. Yeah, you got it?
No, no, not this bad.
Because originally that's what the position was, looking back at the camera.
Yeah, but that's, no, it's administrative clerk is when it's.
The official title, but that's not what it says on the.
Oh, on the, yeah, we're gonna change it, I think, because we're going to the new.
I can show you, I can send it to you.
Well,
Okay, but what's your question?
well, that is my question, because, I mean, there's many ways you can hire a clerk, and one of them is town employee, and other is as, like an ad, what do they call it, ad litem?
Per diem.
Per diem, yeah.
So she's a town employee, part-time, is considered part-time employee. and she wears multiple hats. So it was more of a generic name to do with administrative because she does the minutes for the planning board, and she also, she does the minutes for, the budget. ZBA, I think the ZBA, you know, and.
Yeah, those, no, that's legal under the land use boards.
Or you can be elected.
She's she can pay out of, yes, it's called deputy SSBK. So that really, that line is coming out. That's the line she gets paid out of. And she just changed the name of it.
I guess I was wondering, and then it occurred to me, does she have a job description? And she does, because it's, well, I don't know what you have for her, but in our rules of procedure, we've
But that's just for the planning board clerk. You know, I mean, because she does most, I would say most of the assessing, her primary, her biggest.
the biggest piece of the pie is.
But yes. there
And
is-
really, we're
there is
not
a
talking,
job
and we're not talking about Robin, we're talking about the position. That's all.
Yes, yes, correct. If that position was combined with.
So where's the, so you signed this, and it's for $10,000.
Yep.
And this, and what, and they are going to.
That was back on the,
The beginning of the year.
I emailed you the, I found it in here, so I emailed you.
that was back on
The
7C. We're right now on 16.
I thought we were in financial
Oh,
report,
yeah.
isn't this part of the financial?
Yes, so, what we paid, what we used is we used monies from last year's budget. We allocated money from last year, we didn't use it.
So that was the, yeah.
Pre-K.
I'd like to know what they're getting, what we're getting
So-
for the $10,000.
So I did send you the contract and it has the attached scope of services
All right.
on here. It's in your email, but I'll tell you right now. It says, we'll prepare updates to the town Middleton ordinances in preparation for the town meeting as follows. 1, prepare new ordinance for manufactured housing, prepare new ordinance for short-term rentals, aka Airbnb, VRBO, update and revise existing ordinances for workforce housing, update and revise existing ordinances for multifamily housing in commercial zoning districts, general review of town ordinances for compliance with recent changes to the state RSAs related to land use policies and regulations, general assistance to town staff in preparing materials for public hearing to be held by a planning board.
So most of those changes have been made. Most of those were what we voted on
So,
town.
yeah, so when we drew up this contract, this
It was in December of 2025.
yeah, it was,
Yes, it was.
so at that time, when we discussed what we wanted to move forward with, that was what we had for him. So that's what we.
It was all those state legislative changes that we made. So most of that contract has been filled.
Well, if there anything else happens between, I mean, come October,
We haven't utilized all of what we paid.
no.
We paid, say, $10,000.
No, the contract goes to the end of somewhere in 2020.
No, 3/31, it goes to.
Next March, right, after the next town meeting. So he's gonna work on some of those things we had given him. And there was one more I thought of that people often ask me about, it's the growth ordinance.
Growth
Yes.
management.
Well, right, and we've talked about this in the past, is how other towns handle it, because we've talked about potentially saying, you could do a limit the number of building permits that we, you know.
Is this something
Derry
that,
had one,
pardon me?
Derry had one.
Is this
And
something,
we've done that in the past.
and we didn't ask him to add that to his
No,
things.
but, no.
Could we at the next meeting,
Yes.
so if you could take that off?
I get it. Yes, so I think, yes, we can certainly, again,
It's,
that's
yeah,
all
I mean,
we want him to work on for us, Kate.
Yeah.
because there were some things that we were gonna look at, and then if it, basically, we hit a wall and realized like, okay, this isn't for us, we would obviously ax it and then, you know, move on to the next thing. So,
Thank you.
town-owned property.
So I see Robin was kind enough to give us the.
Yeah, thank you.
Town property. So, I have gone through and identified, I think, with these town-owned properties, what potentially could maybe move to conservation or for what people enforce. For example, I'm just gonna say, on map 1, look on the very first page, on map 1, 14, so map 1, lot 14, sublot 1, that is, it abuts town forest, so I don't see why maybe we would want to,
I think it's pretty wet.
well, I don't know why we wouldn't want to add that into town forest. I think there's some other ones that are down in like the Lake District that, or this Tanglewood now, but there's some down in the Lake District. So tiny. Oh, yeah. So like on map 4, there's a whole bunch on map 4. There is a bunch of town-owned property that abuts. They abut each other, and they're like individual lots, but one lot is like drainage. So it's like, it makes sense to me to join the other ones with it to make it all drainage, because they're so small that they're not gonna be, they're gonna have issues. They're not gonna probably build them.
You can't build on them, and they just create problems. They shouldn't be, especially those 3 on Elaine Road, personally
Right.
aware of, because that's major stream runs.
Yes, I have that highlighted, so actually.
I don't know how do you, because people bought wetlands, the last town, when they got rid of some of these smaller lots along the lake, thinking that they could build on them, and I hate that.
So
It's kind of like fraud.
right, so my recommendation is for the next meeting, I'll give you all of this information that I have here that I'm color coded. And the recommendations maybe of saying, you know, this is town owned. Then there are ones that, because Rob and I were looking, there are ones that say town sell. And I think that's a matter of us on the board selecting to say, let's take that out of there, because that's not necessarily the intent, is to sell it, because we haven't sold one property as long as we can.
For my interest.
Well, there is a process that you can go.
Right, that's what I'm saying, in that process, but I think a lot. Already, like they say, oh, because it's wetlands drainage, but then they'll have a piece right next to it that's just town owned, doesn't have anything, but I'm like, why don't we just merge them together, because then it becomes big, and we're lucky a quarter acre lot, and it helps with any potential drainage.
And creating, not creating future problems, avoiding future problems.
Because
A lot of them, they say the town sold it to me, so it must be buildable.
well, and a lot of these lots are not surveyed. So then if somebody were to go and buy one of those lots and they think they have what they think they have, and then they try to go and build on it to try to show like setbacks and stuff, if they have it surveyed, they find out like, oh, I really don't have what I thought I had, and now I have less, or now my lot's in the middle of the road, or whatever. I just think I personally would like to see anything like in that Lake District to be put into like conservation or forest protected.
I think we need to have that discussion.
Yeah, sure, have it
It doesn't
discussed.
necessarily, I think, need to go into conservation, other than, like I said, if we have these ones that are already identified as drainage, and they have a lot next to it, we merge it, it becomes a drainage, the whole lot becomes drainage, and you can't do anything with it. The town can't do anything with it, and other than keep it to for drainage.
So for the process, would the process be that the selectmen identify those areas?
Well, I think we can identify.
No,
There.
there's a warrant article, which requires the planning board and the conservation commission
Yes.
and a select board
Or
to,
you need to, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
I'm talking about the warrant article that got passed
To sell.
to sell.
Yeah, no, you're not
No,
talking
I'm not
about.
talking about some, so what I'm asking is, so you say there's those 3 lots, that are 3 separate lots, and one says drainage, but those other 2, it doesn't make sense to.
So I
So
think,
would you discuss it as a select board and then come to the planning board to merge, to do
No.
a lot merger?
Oh, that's interesting.
so
Because
it's-
there is no merger process in our development regulations, is what I've been saying. Read that
So
article.
my recommendation would be is we would go through this from a planning board perspective, because we're the ones that have the most hand on it. And say, okay, we're gonna recommend this to the board, so basically like Kate comes and she'll tell us, hey, we got this property that's up on Piper Mountain, and it's town owned and it's not in town forestry, we want to put it, we recommend a conservation commission would like for it to be a warrant article to put it in town. That's kind of like, this is just a recommendation to potentially merge these. And if there's something that we think that should go in conservation, or conservation thinks it should be there, they'll make that proposal to the selectmen to say that's what we want.
The selectmen can merge any properties they want that they own.
But do they come to, they don't have to, they can just merge it?
Well, I mean, I think it would be at the recommendation.
That's why I wanted to go over the merging,
So I just
the
think
development regulations.
it would probably be nicer or cleaner if those lots were then merged and then, if they say individual, then could another select board turn around and say, like, we're not gonna honor that, or
No, I think what would happen is, I think what we want to avoid is finding, we want to address this, so that going forward, things can't be developed on those pieces of land, because it doesn't make any sense, you know? Like the drainage, like I use that one,
Because people think that a lot has been created, that it's a buildable lot, and if they get it from the town, then they think it's a super buildable lot.
And then, well, and the other thing is.
And the town was never looking at these lots individually.
And the other thing is it will deter questions that Robin gets about, oh, is this property for sale? No.
Well, the way it's written, it looks like it is.
There are some in there that say sell, and that's what I want to talk to the rest of the board saying, can we just remove that? Because that gives
Because
people
first,
false hope.
I asked about that, years ago I asked about that because when I was on the association, did the mailers for our association, I know that Laura Carter just printed out all the addresses, and I noticed that it would say like Town of Middleton, Sell, Culver, you know, it had different things, and I was like, what's up with this, is this for sale? And she said, no, they have it earmarked as sell, as in like, it's a property that we could potentially sell, but it's very misleading,
Right.
to anybody who wasn't a part of creating that lingo.
So I'll give you another, for example, one on map 5. It's York Island.
oh, yeah.
It's owned by the town. Why, you know, I would say the
Well,
conservation should say,
I think there was a vote years ago by the selectmen to put it in management by the conservation.
and well, it's
Yeah,
still not.
but see, if these things don't get on this,
Right.
those kind, they're
Did
just.
this get sold by someone not that many years ago? Like,
York Island is owned by the town.
There was another island that I forget, what's the island that everybody thinks of it, of their boats?
That's your house.
No.
The work island, the big island.
Is it? Okay. One of them I know was taking, like,
Pow is the one that.
How about the conservation?
That's where the.
That's the one.
And there's Tomahawk, which is owned by someone. Then there's Little Tom Island, which is in conservation.
Well, it's the loon was nesting outside of it.
nobody,
The loop was on Pow.
We're talking about like 20 years ago.
the loons have been taking a shot right on that long one with the sandflowers, right across from John, Holland.
They move around.
And then there's,
Good birds.
They're big, but
They have one.
They can do whatever they want.
so yeah, so I think there's not a lot, because I think the stuff that's happened up on Piper has been put into force, so that all looks good from what I can see that happens. There's a couple of other ones that I think conservation might address, coming from conservation. But then there's the other ones that I think, like I said, down in the lake, that I think, you know, it's hold because it's a drainage issue, hold because it's a flood, you know, whatever. Those would be ones that we want to merge and just, you know, basically consider them as, yeah, they're gonna be town owned, they're drainage, so that means there's nothing going to happen in that lot.
I have a question. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I didn't know you guys were gonna be talking about this, and back in October, I had sent a letter in about some of these parcels of land, because a lot of them are property that I own. So, I mean, if the city or the town sells it to us, you'll at least be bringing in tax money. And it just abuts land that I already have anyways.
It's like highly unlikely, well, I can tell you, it's highly unlikely from my standpoint on the board of selectmen that we're gonna look to sell the land, because, just the process we have to go through, not stuff, but some of this stuff, like, I think maybe some of the property you're talking about is up in, it's in the Pennachuck area, which is utility, which is the well for all.
Well, protection area.
Yes, so I would think, because again, that there is stuff that says that.
Yes.
Silver Street, George, basically almost the first bunch of properties are ones that I didn't know, and I had my sister who typed up the letter, send me the letter. So a bunch of these,
Which ones? The ones that are,
so it's
George is better.
112, 114.1, 29, 291, 210, 211. It just kind of, these are all little pieces that are just attached to what I already have now.
so there's, so I don't know what map we're looking at, what map, 3?
So it's a, so it would be like.
112, which is the first one. 114,
So map,
So
so
112,
map.
112, I can tell you, 112
That's
is
Silver
one
Street.
that's abutting the town forest.
but it also abuts my property as well.
But I mean, I think what we, like Kate said, that is wet and everything. So as a town, the decision would be, and it could be put forward from conservation to say, we recommend, their recommendation to say, we're doing that, we put that into town forest. That could be, you know.
With the opportunity to gain tax dollars. And it just,
Again, and I get what you're saying, but again, the process, and we haven't been through the process since, it's been pointed out a number of times that basically we could not recommend you those to sell, but it has to come from the point, it has to go before the planning board to say yes. It has to go before the conservation to say, we have to say yes, sell it. And Kate, reminding you, you're more familiar with selling, the process of the selling. Planning board, conservation,
Selectmen, and also you have to, any money you get, you cannot get excess profits off, it goes back to you, it's the laws, there was a law in
it
2020.
must have gone there more than 10 years.
No,
Even so.
I'll get you the case law, I was looking at it the other night.
Because that's how it's, but,
Any profits have to go back to the person that owned the property.
So they have to go back and find whoever, so say it was 50 years ago.
if somebody, we took the property back from someone.
Yeah.
Right, they have to go back to try, unless someone donates it back to the town, they have to try to get it.
I'm just saying, a lot of these are small pieces that just about what I have now, that I really can't do much with anyways. And it just kind of just keeps, and you guys would be able to.
Well, it would be protected if it went into forestry or conservation, it would, or even if it stayed as like not sellable, it would be protected and you'd have that buffer.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it-
you
it's-
have to look at it, because what if 5 small pieces add to one piece, and then you have a little lot based on all that?
right,
I mean,
well, we don't have any of that down on the.
no, I know,
shore.
but we'd have to look at it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the only potential we have is maybe up off of Jordan, but that's all a paper road, and we don't have roads there, so, you know,
Oh, yeah.
we're not looking to expand, to put more town or road service for the town or whatever. But my concern mainly is, stuff that's down in the lake shore, the lake district, it's primarily down like in like Lane here, these ones that are drainage issues because you already have houses on top of houses on top of houses.
In our area and the, like Kyle Clemental, that whole group that's done all the studies, they said out of the whole column of the lake, I say our area because I live there. And actually the 3 of, 4 of us, there's a lot of us in here that live in that area. But anyway, that section of the lake district has the worst drainage. So to put anything else in there, or for somebody to buy it and to try to, would just create a lot more problems.
So what I'll do,
So I
is my takeaway is I'll make copies of these color maps that I have here so that you can all.
Good job.
Seeing if you-
Well, because it's not, there's like town forest, then there's town, it's town property or public drainage and beach. So those are things that, you know, like the municipal building, the old town hall, and then there's stuff that's over the lake that's drainage. Then there's conservation, then there's just town, and then there's town cell. So, and I really want to address some of the town cell stuff, because I think it causes questions, it causes emails and calls for Robin, you know, like, oh, the town cell stuff, they've had cell in there for the last 10 years. So I would just prefer the court to say town of Middleton, and, you know, and then.
yeah, it's very misleading,
Right.
because it is like public.
Well, especially when town, you know, land is very, you know, I'd be not that it isn't now, but I mean, you know, like when COVID hit and everybody was looking to fireplace up here in New Hampshire to get away from, you know, all the stuff, so.
So that's good, we'll take another look
Yes.
at that, and you'll have those maps for us at the
Yeah.
next meeting, and that's on July 17th or something like that.
Yes.
So planning board and conservation would have, I don't wanna say, but like they would have input for recommendation.
No, it has to, I think they have say on it as to whether you can sell it or not.
So then would it
That
make
my
sense
is
to
that
do?
your understanding? That's my understanding.
I'd have to read
It has to
the
be
warrant
approved.
article.
I think it has to be approved by the planning board and the conservation.
It's definitely because we
Does it start at the planning board, is that what you're saying?
It-
Does it start at the planning board, so is that who I should be talking to?
Well, no, it's
Well, we have, the planning board has zero say of like, oh yes, you know, you can buy it.
No, but if I came in and you guys said, yeah, we're on board, then it goes down to the next person, then, like, where does the line stop to talk?
No, it starts, I mean, I think, because I'm gonna recommend to the board of selectmen that we, you know, based off of what we kind of come out here and say, this is what we think we need to do. And see if the board of selectmen, especially the merging stuff, or like the drainage, because that is a really huge issue for them, because they're working on a big project down in Lake Shore now. on the whole thing.
That project is like well over $100,000.
But then, how do you identify them in the assessing code as
That's what I'm trying to find out.
what?
Do I talk to the board of selectmen first?
I think before anybody panics, just hold tight. Just hold tight and let's, she still hasn't come to the board of selectmen and said, brought it even up to have the discussion.
Make the recommendation, I'm not making a recommendation to sell it, I can tell you for myself, I am not gonna recommend to the board of selectmen to sell any property here in town. Because it caused a lot of legal issues the last time we sold the property. It caused.
On motion, sorry.
Yes. What my concern is to address the stuff that's in the Lake District down in specifically the Lake Shore, the Karen, the Spruce, everything that's in that area, especially where we have stuff that's in drainage and we have a water right next to it. That's what I'm looking at. We cannot entertain any, I think right now the town doesn't really have a lot of properties that we would consider that we would sell. Meaning, we have maybe one here on Silver Street, we have one that might, you know, there might be something like, but I tend to steer away from in the waivers because they're so small and then they put houses on lots that really should only accommodate.
The Lake District, right, 60 years ago is completely different than how it is today, and it does not make sense to move forward to do anything.
I'm just looking at, like I said, the merger stuff, where it makes sense to
On
merge.
these lots that say drainage, right?
Yeah.
Like I have one right next to me that is that. Like, those lots are not maintained in the slightest way whatsoever. It is just turned into like a swamp.
Well, it means that it's basically that property is owned by the town, so it does not have anything, and so development put on it.
Right, at one point it had trees that were like kind of growing and stuff like that, but then the trees died and fall over, and now they're dead, and now it's not drainage anymore. It's not drainage anymore.
So
It's swampage now, more drainage.
But I think it also allows for that, I think two things. One, like you can call it drainage, but I think also you're allowing, water has to go somewhere. And if it
Well,
doesn't,
looking like, for instance, this lot right here, that's called drainage. Well, my lot goes all the way over here to where the drainage ends, and then it still goes through my land to go over.
so then I would say like if the water.
I know your
is
property pretty well.
Yeah, it's right there.
I mean, I guess if the water
Here's
is.
It's got a culvert running onto your property.
Here's Rob's house, or not Rob's house,
Well, we know, yeah.
where Rob lives.
Yeah,
And this is Big Dave,
yeah.
and it goes through here and then underneath there.
Yeah,
But the
that's-
drainage comes back through here. This is still, that's,
Well, what are you trying to say?
so we have some areas that are for drainage that are deeded as
So I think if the town
There
has,
are other areas that's drainage that's not even deeded as drainage, but it's clearly part of drainage.
Because there are culverts running there.
There's a culvert there.
Some of them
There's
say
one that goes under the road onto that property.
That's further down the road.
I'm pretty sure, I thought, well, I could be wrong, I'm not gonna argue with Carl.
That's what I'm getting
Can we
at.
move on?
If I owned it, I'd be able to maintain that. All you would have to do is.
Or you could start filling it in like other
All you
people.
have to do is put on the deed, On the deed for it, it has to be on there that there's a right of way for this, and that can never change. As long as you describe where it is, it can never
And
change.
who's gonna enforce that?
A lawyer?
Well, then you get labeled. So personally, I feel this, and I will always say this, and I've said this for years. I think anything within the Lake District now that has not been developed, it should stay how it is. The drainage in our area is an absolute mess. To do anything else with it would not be right to the town, to the health of the lake, to the residents that are there paying a ton of
I
taxes.
agree, some
I think
things-
I think this, if the town owns that property and that property has issues where it's creating a problem for damage to your property, then you need to go contact the right people and say, hey, several trees have
That's what I
fallen.
was getting at, is you have like a liability for the town, and you have lots that you're saying is drainage, if it's not being maintained,
Create one.
it can.
Once-
It would create problems, but then here's another issue which would really like piss me off as a property owner is if the town goes ahead and sells that
I
property.
didn't know you ever had that.
I never get mad. But if the town goes ahead and sells property and then a person comes in and they clear the lot and they don't do it properly and they create water damage, which is happening, and it's happening right now, and I've talked to you about it, and potentially if the person keeps filling, it's
That's
gonna
not the same as drainage.
create more problems.
For
But
the-
the whole thing is you're saying you're now gonna rely on another person to do the right thing, which not everybody does the right
I
thing.
think the
And then
property-
you're gonna create a big civil dispute with
The
them.
property you're talking about was sold with the intent that nothing would be done with it, and now it's being filled in.
Yeah. See, that's what happens. Once the town lets that property go, once the town lets the property go, then they lose all control over what happens there. The next thing you know, it's filled in.
I mean, this is gonna be, at the end of the day, this is an ongoing thing, but this is just the start of it, and we'll have to have a discussion, and then you guys have, what, a whole board.
Right.
I mean, I know we've sold drainage lots before in the past too. Look back on the road a lot.
And we probably should take, because
Right.
look at the damage. Look at the damage that we have right
It's
now
still
on
a
Lake
drainage
Shore.
lot right now. It
Well,
was in their
that's-
deed that it was a drainage
This is
lot.
part of the reason that they're doing that project over beyond.
Yes, this is why the subcommittee of the conservation, that grant that was well over 100,000, like the amount of money that has been put into this project is crazy. And if we don't do something about it and address it appropriately and responsibly, we're gonna keep having problems and our lake is gonna be a swamp.
And if people keep quietly filling in their little wetlands here and there, it just pushes it onto somebody else's property.
So,
But if we don't do something about it, then we don't have the staff in DPW to maintain all our wetlands. Drainage areas, because the drainage in our neighborhood is on private land, so you have to maintain your own ditches.
Right.
But the town owed drainage
You don't maintain your own ditches.
we maintain.
You have to clean the culvert, not your ditches.
No, you're
DPW
supposed
takes
to.
care of your ditches.
Really, the
That's a fact.
Well, really?
that's a conversation
Well-
for the highway department, not here.
let me finish the thought with the drainage. If his property is abutting town-owned drainage and it's impacting his property, where do residents seek assistance?
They come to the US.
Okay, come to the
Meeting
US.
and say.
Yep. I'm not saying sell the property, but if the town
I think
has
Mr.
to.
Silva did, he's the one that's having drainage issues, which part of this project is going to take care of his drainage.
Right. Then we have, then there's
But
profit.
then there was somebody on my side that has the same.
But I mean, again, you can confirm this, is, what the property lines were 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago are not the same as what they are today.
No.
Yeah.
And especially over in the Lakes region, when everything, like I said, is like this,
It's unsurveyed.
And I've seen it before on Ossipee Lake where somebody's property line was not, somebody actually started to get it straight and gets all the way down the line,
Well,
everybody.
there's somebody who owned what they thought was an empty lot, and then they had it surveyed, and then they found out that they owned the whole, they owned the property that a house was on, and they basically owned all of that. So, once they had it surveyed, it becomes straight to us. Okay,
There were lots left.
Oh, what's that?
so,
There was one.
annual meeting,
So if you turn those pieces that Jordan brought, to drainage, and then they start affecting my piece of, who do I talk to?
That's
Well,
what,
it doesn't necessarily mean, I don't necessarily think we'll be called, I mean, I don't even know if they're listed as right now. She's talking about, there's a couple of properties over on the other side of the lake.
So, yeah,
There's a couple.
so let's just the overall list.
Hold on, there's a few
Yeah.
properties on the other side of the lake that are listed as drainage, and then there's a few abutting properties next to them. And what she's saying is basically to merge those lots and to keep it as drainage
On the other side.
on the other side.
So there could
So
still be a
I don't
conversation
know,
about this.
like where you're at,
Christine,
I'm not sure what.
John's leaving.
Okay, we can't have 12 people talking. So on your side where you're at, I don't know how it's listed and how it would be done, but that's further down the road of like discussion. Like this is just the beginning.
Yeah, all I did was ask for a list of town-owned property so that I could get a good handle on what we're looking at. And I think most of it's in Tanglewood, actually.
It's like all pages.
You want to go talk to him before he leaves?
No, I'm not, I can't.
Okay.
It's, if I'm supposed to be the chair and I'm supposed to be running the meeting and people are questioning and everybody's interrupting and I'm being told I have to take control of the meeting. If he has an issue and can't bring it up, then hey, moving on. 18, Stratford Regional Planning, is that Stratford Regional Planning?
It's just a dinner, Kate and I are going to that Stratford Regional Planning annual dinner. Annual meeting.
They're gonna have 3 guest speakers. I know, New Hampshire DES is one of them, a planner is one of them, and I'm sorry, I don't know all 3.
There will be.
Where is it?
It's $80.
Somersworth.
Oh,
Yeah, that's restaurant.
Oh, Oaks, the Oaks.
yes, I think golf course.
Oh, you put insinuation.
Golf course.
Okay. Hey, member comments?
Well, I think the only thing I had was I wanted to consider growth ordinances.
Okay, yeah,
Which we have that.
Yeah, we added that to topic where I don't have any comments. Be overwhelmed.
Well,
And we're certified.
so we were talking about the merging, it's in the development regulation, it's something I wanted to review. Did I just talk over
You
you?
just cut it right off, Kate.
Sorry, Ron.
I mean, I think I was on the Dover planning board for a couple of years, and that was more organized. A lot of rules and, so, observing last time, it was very difficult for me to kind of see what are we voting on, what are we discussing, it wasn't kind of clear what's happening in the state.
Which I think, and I'll just comment that I think which is why we now have this, the degenerate way it is, so we're trying to stay trapped with what's going on in the United States, back. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so we have to think about it.
But also, coming in and not knowing what things have been in progress, so it may not make sense for me right now, but once I'm here, that's not we're working on.
I'm going the other way.
And so that's it. A couple comments. Anybody?
Not about that.
Okay.
I got some insight today for the, that drain on Lake Shore also. There was
The one that was plowed?
there was a guide wire that was installed by the, public service company that went directly through the drain.
Oh, that accounts for some of the issues they've had.
That came from Cobb.
Yeah.
There's a guide wire?
Yeah, when they reinstalled the pole, the guide wire straight from Cobb.
Good to know, thank you.
See, the other things have been better on here, so.
I have,
I don't know how long ago that was done.
I have a couple of town ordinances here.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? What are you waiting? We're on public comment.
I'm public,
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just not.
and Carl's here.
Oh, no, but I know, but I'm like, is this stuff that we should have discussed earlier?
No, this is town ordinance. He's always asking about this one. Article 26. All such materials shall be kept in a suitable covered enclosure to prevent access by animals, punishable by $100.
Trash cans.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's the,
Where can we find that?
it's right here. I'm gonna make a copy of it. The
No,
annual
no,
report.
not what I meant. No,
And it's the annual report of 1980.
no, where can the general public find
We can post it.
Well, I
That's-
think we
that's
asked
what I'm
last
getting at.
year if we posted it on their website.
that?
So like, it's the yellow book that's in the selectmen's office.
Exactly, it's in the selectmen's office, so it's not really available. to the public.
Well, then public can come in and
Something
ask.
that Tony's been working on putting together.
Yeah, I know she's been putting it together, I'm just saying the public needs to get, I would love to go out and say that stuff, but then I need to be able to reference that stuff to where they can actually see it without me having to go down to like the police chief's
So-
office to get a copy of it and stuff, I'd like it to be available.
I asked for it last year to be all put on the website.
And it's.
It's just, it's a mess. I've looked at some of it with them, it's a mess.
I know.
Noise,
Zoning was good.
Exactly, what she said.
noise guidelines for special events.
Well, that would be a PD thing.
This is a special event license application.
That goes to the
All right.
And then, no, you still have, right, I'm still talking. Feeding of aquatic birds.
What, about what?
Feeding of aquatic birds, you've got that one about the ducks, not,
Sounds like a CES thing.
no, it's a
No,
town
that's
of
a
Middleton
town
ordinance.
I saw
But who enforces that?
I don't know, what a code enforcement guy?
Apparently me. I'm gonna put on a big.
No person or persons shall in the public or private beach in the town of Middleton feed any aquatic bird, including but not limited to ducks, geese, loons, seagulls, or swans. And
Well, I
there's,
haven't had it come up, so if it gets complained, I'll take care of it.
there's a whole listing of town ordinances. That's all right, that's my public comment, because Carl is here.
So our next
You could
regular,
just yell at me from the driveway too.
Try to keep professional and neighbor things separate.
unlike maybe who just walks over,
Yeah, she just showed me my front porch.
I did. I'm not sure. Our next meeting is July 16th, so we bumped it out a week because of the holiday, or 16th. Did it say 16th? It's a 16th.
16th, I'm pretty.
July 16th, 2026.
Yep, it is. It's Thursday.
I'll send an invitation to Blair just
Did triple check? I think Robin made the last like invite to him.
So you make it like a meeting, make it our teams or Zoom.
You guys know, it's Zoom, anyway, yeah. I know I don't have that account anymore, so I've been 20 minutes, so I have a paid account.
Well, I wonder if you can ask him,
Oh, yeah, he might have.
I think he might have it.
Right, oh, yes, this is a,
I can't remember if we did Teams or Zoom. I didn't do it on my phone. Anyway,
I'll ask him to send the link.
anybody have anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:06.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, I guess you're right, I mean,